Hello everyone, this is Boy King Killa, and this is another Crappypasta Storytime. This is actually the Halloween edition, so that means you'll get 3 stories this month instead of 2. I know that last month I didn't get around to doing the second one because I couldn't find any good, crappy video game-based creepypastas, so if anyone is willing to help out, I would really appreciate it. Anyway, today's crappypasta is Sally.exe, and it is from a Terra cyber cop on DA whose account has since been active since 2012. I've just gotten banned or something. Anyway, let's get on to the hyper-realistic blood and guts. I'm a big fan of the Sonic the Hedgehog series. Like a lot of people, I narrowed down to the classic Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon shows, though, because I think the rest Sega had spawned was rat crap, to each their own. And we're already getting off with a bang on errors and such. There weren't... What other Sega TV shows?
Probably nothing.
I know Earthworm Jim wasn't Sega, despite the fact that it was on a Sega Genesis console. Anyway, let's move on. I was browsing eBay the other day, and that should be a comma, not a period. I wondered if there would be any items about my favorite character from the series, Sally Acorn. And we already have the character being a fangirl, Joy. Indeed, what I found was a plushie that was manufactured in Sega World of Sydney, which closed down due to the lack of visitors in 2006. Those Sally plushies were very rare, but I didn't have the money to buy her, and my parents would despise me for it. Despise you for what? Buying a plushie? Seriously, that's nothing to despise a kid over. If it was using their credit card, then yeah, or their money, then yes. Otherwise, no, they wouldn't be able to despise you. I examined the plushie for a while as the article came with pictures. This Sally even had her jacket on it. On it was written with a permanent marker, God! I don't really know what it meant, probably the initials of the child owning her before they sold her. Yeah, I'm gonna say close out the ad close out the thing right now. It's gonna get worse for you. I clicked the back button to return to the Sonic Sally search, knowing I wouldn't win the auction anyway, only to find another article had appeared, Sonic Saddam cartoon all episodes, with the price of $1 on Instant Buy. You mean buy it now?
Here would be a great
you mean buy it now? There's no such thing as Instant Buy. It's called buy it now. Take it from someone who uses eBay a lot. SatAM DVDs were never released where I came from. Bummer, yeah. Really. Bummer. So as happy as I was, I wanted to rewatch the show and checked out the article. It had no description. Description. God, and no address where it came from. Germany, Canada, etc., France, Europe, Australia. It was missing, and the shipping price was stated to be free. I looked up at the photo of the article. It was a blank CD.
Why did you knock off the first national?
Oh my gosh! A blank CD? It contains all Sonic Saddam episodes. Compulsive buy! I decided to buy it anyway. Yeah, and you thought your parents would despise you for buying a fucking plushie.
Garrison?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Henry Garrison.
Not just for the nostalgia, but the writing was great. I loved Robotnik in the series.
Especially tonight.
Yeah,
He seemed incredibly twitchy.
He was a lot better than that than the horrible Sonic cartoon. Well, it all started when the mail arrived. It arrived the next morning. Oddly, it was
I see
Sunday.
your eyes at the window.
Really, your post ends up arriving on Sundays. I wish mine would be that fast, but no, we have to have Sundays to where it doesn't arrive. I was happy to receive the episodes and immediately put the blank CD into my laptop. Real smart thinking there, kiddo. Yeah, really smart thinking. Starting the DVD, sadly the DVD didn't start, but it offered me to show the file, so I opened the folder and saw Sally.exe application. We're finally getting to the plot! I was confused at it being a .exe file, but I started anyway, and indeed, it was playing a Sad Am episode. The episode was Hooked on Sonics. Began. The episode started out all normal along with the intro, no blood or anything, which you would never see in the TV series because cartoons at that point were actually fairly good with that. But the sad thing was that my computer blue screened when the kissing scene of Sonic and Sally started. When Sally walks over Sonic and kisses his cheek, he calls her kiss not so good, grants her a better one, and it was cute too. The computer rebooted. I took out the CD as I thought it malfunctioned and threw it away. I could have asked the person to give me my money back, but he can keep the $1. Dollar! Jesus fucking Christ, it's $1, not dollars, not doll-R's, not doll hairs, dollars that I gave him. I mean, it's just $1. Yeah, with that $1 you could buy yourself a frickin' soda and it would have gone better. I continued to normally browse the internet, speak to friends on Skype and all. Nothing was wrong until when I was watching a random YouTube video. My cursor, the white arrow, in case you didn't know. No, clearly I didn't know because I am clearly not tech savvy whatsoever, you dumb fuck. Started to completely spaz out. I disconnected my mouse, but the cursor continued to thrash around the screen like a I even deactivated my touchpad and it continued. Suddenly, it came to a stop and I carried on. Ignoring what had happened, soon I found myself downloading a ROM for Sonic the Hedgehog. Fun game. No shit, really. We would have never guessed. As soon as it had downloaded, I started up my emulator and begun to play the game in windowed mode. But oddly, the complete screen went black. What the fuck? Oh no! The screen completely went black! I think that's what she was trying to say. I shrugged it off and waited for the game to start. The familiar SEGA jingle didn't sound. Well, it did. But it was slowed down so much it sounded like it sounded demonic and it made me cringe, not gave me a cringe. The background remained black and Sonic didn't run past the logo. It faded to black and some text appeared. I first saw it was in a red font, but it was dark gray, and the clouds looked dull and black, like right before a thunderstorm. The mountains were decayed, and so was the logo. It was even bloody red. The familiar... Oh! Blood red, cliche! Everyone, take a shot of whiskey! The familiar music wasn't played either. It was just a 16-bit mess of sounds, the demonic SEGA occasionally mixed in. Instead of Sonic showing up, two characters appeared next to the logo, Tails and Knuckles. The sight of them terrified even more. Tails' eyes were black and they were bleeding. His fur had become a dull gray black, as well as he had the expression of anguish on his face. Knuckles looked far worse. His red fur had darkened reddish gray, his dreadlocks were dripping with blood, and his eyes were black and bleeding like Tails, and he had a look of sadness on his face. Sadness? Oh Oh my god! Just then, I noticed a new character pop out of the middle of the logo. A pink, bubbly little hedgehog poked her head out. At first, she was smiling, but then frowned at what was around her. She looked confused and nervous, like she didn't really know what was going on. Amy Rose, I thought. What is this all about? Curiosity, yes, curiosity, drove me to press enter. A short yet loud static noise sounded and the screen faded. I wish I hadn't done so. Kyle. Oh, Kyle didn't want to play with me. The writing appeared again. What a shame, but I can play with you. Right? The demonic Sega jingle sounded again as, for a split second, an image flashed. It disappeared too fast, so I couldn't make it out. But I could swear I saw a red and black Sonic with black and red eyes. I almost felt them pierce through me at that moment, and that moment made me jump. It didn't begin in Green Hill Zone Act 1, though I wish it did. Instead, the title card read, "Not Perfect, Act 1. The game begun, the ground looked like the normal Green Hill Zone, but the background was pitch black. Amy stood normally where Sonic would be in the original game. Surprisingly, that was a well-made sprite. It wasn't her classic self, but her current self. Oh, God. It looked official, even. On the posing side of the screen where Amy was at, there was a large silver ring. In front of the ring stood the sprite of Sonic with a smile on his face. The animation of Amy standing there was that she stared forward with a lovey-dovey expression as hearts came from her head here and there. I guess I should head to Sonic, I thought, as I moved Amy towards Sonic, but Sonic ran away and jumped into the ring. He ran away! I made Amy leap right after him. The level teleported to one of the stages where you can get Chaos Emerald. The background was pink with love hearts all over. It looked cute, but I was distracted by only having 4 red, white colored spheres to jump on, and I tried to balance Amy on top of it as she desperately tried to keep on the spheres. But my controls slipped and Amy fell. I fell onto a wall of gold spheres, just as I thought I'd teleport back with a loud shriek sounded. And the image of this demonic Sonic continued to flash all over the screen. The screen completely spazzed, and I heard shrieks. Loud shrieks from what I could swear it was Amy Rose herself. I kept hearing, "No! No!" and loud cries of agony and pain, which abruptly ended with more static for a split moment before the screen cut to black. Yeah, this crappypasta is twice as crappy. Soon, the title screen appeared again. Knuckles and Tails were missing, but instead, Amy appeared. She was smiling her usual cute smile, but her body had holes. Not bleeding holes or bullet holes, just holes that pierced her body all over. Her colors faded to dull black and white. Even her eyes looked oddly disfigured. This scared me so much my entire body began to itch. I scratched myself over and over as I watched a new character appear. I frowned upon seeing Cream, who had a sheer terrified expression and huddled against the logo for comfort. Poor Cream, I wanted to quit the game, but as if forced I hit start again and the screen faded. Well, here's a way you could easily stop playing the game. Take your laptop outside, throw it on, go to the highway, leave the laptop on the top of your car, on the roof of it, and drive as fast as you can down the highway to where it gets smashed into little pieces, but that's just me. Kind and Fair, Act 1. The stage was blank now. The background music was drowned, sounding like a slower version of the Green Hill Zone. It nearly made me gag. The story's making me nearly gag. But something forced me to play. Compulsion forced you to play, douchebag. The stage began, and Cream's sprite was, like Amy's, very well done. The environment was childish, It looked like a cute cutout. Infrared Cream was the TV box that gave her, or that gave you higher speed. I made Cream crunch down and do a spin dash, and I dashed ahead, crashing the box. The level didn't change. The ground was a solid platform, and it seemed that Cream was going faster and faster
I think
and
one
faster.
dead rat is
and she
enough for
crashed in
anyone.
more boxes, and more, and more. And I noticed that the music had gotten completely out of sync, which scared me. Suddenly, Cream crashed into a wall of spikes. Oh no! A loud splat sounded, which didn't even sound like it would be going 16, which it wouldn't sound like it belonged into a 16-bit game. Poor Cream was torn to shreds, blood dripping from the spikes and the bloodied rabbit as the background slowly began to melt in front of my eyes. The image flashed red again, and soon the title screen appeared. As expected, I was back on the title screen and Cream had appeared with Amy. She did look scared, but her other eye was, how do I put it, droopy, dead, and bleeding black goo. Her ears were over her face now instead of the back of her
I
head.
can't go that way.
Her color scheme,
bolted shut.
color scheme, not colored scheme, changed from brown and orange
It won't
to
budge.
very, very dark purple and red. Her dress was still gray.
I have to
Time
break
for the
Brian out of
third
the can
character.
first.
God, did I want to cry and weep when I saw Sally Acorn pop out of that goddamn logo, putting on her innocent smile as she waved towards me like she didn't know what torture would happen to her. The game was so terrifying and yet so fascinating. But I wanted to stop real bad, but my hand wouldn't budge. I even started shaking. I wanted to reach for the power button, turn the darn thing off, but my hand just wouldn't move, and before I knew it, I already hit start and the screen faded. Act 9, it said. A sad, dull melody played in the background, a silhouette of the ground and the sprite silhouettes that resembled Sally, and the others appeared in front of a background that consisted of the whole group. Amy, Cream, Knuckles, Tails,
From
and
the
Robotnik
mess,
appeared
it looks like
on their
something
tortured
or
forms
someone
with a
was
saddened
killed here
expression.
recently.
It also had Sonic, but in a nearly unrecognizable way. He had a wide grin on his face with razor-sharp teeth. He had black eyes with red dots for pupils, which were bleeding hyper-realistic blood. It looked like he would reach out to the silhouette in front of him. I tried to move Sally, get her out of there, but each wall wouldn't budge, and Sally would do a pushing animation. I stopped in the middle as, to my horror, the stage began to shrink, and the black started to close in on Sally. I tried moving
Some
her
of the
again,
bars have been
but
damaged,
the walls
but
wouldn't
it's
budge or
still
move.
sturdy.
I walked Sally back to the middle as walls closed in on her. She crouched down before she completely disappeared in the black. Splat! The red writing appeared on the screen again. Oil was dripping like blood and was crooked. Sonic, my love. Suddenly, a familiar scene faded in, and I recognized it immediately. Sonic Satnam was playing from where the CD had cut off. It was reddish shade, and Sonic had these black, bleeding, demonic eyes. Sally looked even worse, at least to me. Her eyes were missing. Oh no! It was more like they were taken out, and Sally's skull was sewn closed again. Blood was running from her wounds. It didn't look like Photoshop, it was actually animated. Sonic pulled Sally over like in the show, only tentacle-like things bursted out of their mouths and locked. I've seen enough hentai to know, or I've seen enough Japanese anime to know where this is going, and I don't like it. Making disgusting, slurping noises. I could even see them bulge in Sally's throat. Worst thing was that they even looked like they were enjoying it. For a minute, I think I was too. You're into some pretty fucking weird shit, aren't you, dude? I could see the corrupted Tails and Knuckles in the background too. Sonic pulled away. So, not bad, Sally simply replied. I gagged and looked away from the screen. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed something on my bed. On my bed was a Sally doll I saw on eBay, with its eyes missing.
Rats on the walls.
And that was Sally.exe, and my god. You know, it takes something truly awful to realize the stuff that's truly good that we have nowadays. That story, it was bad, but to be funny, it was also, to be honest, it was also pretty funny. So, I'll give this one a pass, believe it or not. Anyway, this has been Boy King Killa, and Happy Halloween, everyone!